make you, starts to bring you back up to that surface level. Starts to bring you back up to that place where you're just trying to get through the day, okay? You've got to be able to go back and remind yourself that this is who you really are, because that's what it came from deep down inside. This is who you really are. And like Rob said on that video, like, you can't give it to somebody else. They just got to have it. You've got to figure out how to get there. But having this reminder in front of you, maybe frame this, put it up somewhere where you're going to see it. You've got to remind yourself of who you are. Build your faith up. Okay.
All right, so we're going to just get super practical now. This is just Tim and Michelle's rules for success. And these rules have just come out of, honestly, some of them have come out of working a business with a spouse. I don't know if anyone's tried to do that, but it's real difficult sometimes. So these are things that we've had to like.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, no, for me. We have had to literally put rules around our life and our business so that we can actually move forward.
But the thing is, like, these all didn't happen all at once. We've like had to walk through something and learn a lesson and then put a rule into place, and this is what we've learned to live by. And so these aren't just things that we just came up with out of the blue, is what we're saying. We've actually had to walk these things out.
And they're probably not going to be the rules you think, like 10 people a day. These are more.
This is practical, but it's like stuff that anybody can use. Okay, rule number 1. Remove the word busy from your vocabulary. All right, so this one happened because I was
Busy.
noticed
All the
busy.
time.
But I was always saying, oh, I was too busy, and I realized after a while that I wasn't getting things done that I would tell people I was going to do. And every time that I wanted to excuse myself from not having done it, I would let them know that I was too busy. Anybody ever have anyone tell you that they were sorry I was busy, and you knew that they weren't?
Like they posted about, the show that they watched or something.
Okay,
Said it, not been told.
let me just tell you, you've done that to somebody else though, okay? Not only have people done it to you, you've done it to somebody else, okay? So I realized that I was using that as an excuse quite often, and the only way for me to interrupt that thought pattern and to stop doing that and to change my actions and make myself have to own up to the fact that I just didn't get it done because I didn't make it a priority, I just didn't do it. Which is really hard to tell people, by the way. The only way for me to be able to do that was to remove that word from my vocabulary, and then I had to actually own it. And when you have to own it, you get more stuff done. That was the beauty and the magic of it, was that then I had to actually get this stuff done. And the other thing that is a side benefit of that is that you stop saying yes to so many things that you shouldn't be saying yes to. And you start to actually make priorities and actually choose to do the things that you know you should be doing.
And even to yourself, not saying, like, if you know you've committed to yourself, because, you're running your own business, I'm a boss. And so if you've committed to yourself a certain amount of activity daily, and at the end of the day, you're like, I was too busy, this is for yourself, too. Because you have to recognize that that's just another thing that you didn't prioritize in your life.
It hurts. Honestly, it hurts at first. But, and sometimes you'll find yourself you didn't get it done. And now you got to own it. But at least you're being real. And at least at that point, you can still respect yourself, and the next time try not to do that. All right, number 2.
No complaining. Okay, so this is I'll tell you why we had to create this rule around business, because there's no company that's perfect. There's no products that's perfect. There's no people that are perfect. We are in a people business with a young company, and we've went through things in 7 years. Anyone else go through things in 7 years? Anyone else have relationships that, it's tough sometimes. And I would just like I said, I could be like the sky is falling and, Tim has to try to get me moving in the right direction. But he is actually, so how they say you can only complain up. Like, you know what I mean? You can only complain to your upline. You can't complain to your
Well,
downline.
yeah. So there were people that were teaching.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People teach that, right? They say you can only complain up. Well, Tim's like, that's a stupid rule because if I complained up, I'd be complaining to you. Because he's my downline. And if Tim started complaining, the sky would be falling. Like, it would be like really bad. And so Tim's like, if I'm not allowed to complain because who am I going to complain to? Like, I'm supposed to be like, I'm the one that's supposed to help fix everything. He goes, if I aren't allowed to complain, like if I'm not allowed to complain, then nobody should be allowed to complain. And so we weren't, and we went through some tough seasons, okay? And he just was like, no complaining. We're not complaining. And so we just created that rule around complaining. And it's amazing. You really don't need to. You really don't. And just watch what happens when you just stop complaining all the time about all the things. You'll have more time to build relationships. You'll have a lot more time to love on people. And you'll have a lot more time to create solutions, which goes into our next one.
Okay, so when we say no complaining, okay, well this little picture right here,
Yeah,
just so you
and just
understand.
add the picture.
That whole idea is like, okay, this is what it does to your business. Just so you know, if you start complaining, you're just like a snake eating its own tail. You're just taking yourself out. Okay? You cut your own legs out from under you when you complain
Good visual,
about your
right?
business. All right.
I can get to
This. We aren't saying that there's not going to be problems. We're not saying that you can't recognize a problem. All right? But the rule came for us, like if we're not allowed to complain, there still has to be a way for us to talk about problems.
And this is a good because we work this business together, and I can look like some of you guys are power partners, some of you guys come as a team, you work your business together. This is the rules you should create within your groups. Okay?
Or if you're going to your upline and you want to talk to them about an issue, this is also a great rule. It's if you're going to point out a problem, at least come with some sort of solution. Come with something that shows that you're putting some effort into fixing it, because otherwise, all you are doing is complaining. That's all you're doing is complaining.
And complaining truly is, I mean, you leave feeling like we might as well give up, right? I mean, that's truly what complaining does. And so this is more hopeful, right? This is a hopeful way to like conduct business. Okay, so this is something we have lived by. So almost 6.5 years ago, I was 1 year in. Okay, I get into Plexus. Things are going fabulous. I go to Emerald in 11.5 months. I am on a trajectory to hit Diamond in a few months after that. Like I'm talking, my team was exploding. Things were going great. At that time, Plexus changed a product. At the time, we had this one product that basically was a little bit like crack. I don't know, like you didn't have to eat or sleep and you were like skinny as can be. Okay, it was amazing. Well, it was natural, but there was an ingredient in there that was questionable with the FDA, and Plexus at that point was going in a direction of gut health, and they were going to take in any ingredients that were questionable at all with the FDA, which we're thankful for, right? Okay, we're thankful. Long-term vision, it's amazing. At that point, though, I had built up my business on on a product that had really exploded my team. So Plexus removes that product. People were devastated at that point. And then my upline, I didn't even have a team page at this point. My upline, because there was so much turmoil, like with people, and they were upset about losing this product, they just decided to shut down their team page. And I didn't have a team page, okay? So they just, in a day, shut their team page down. So we lost the product. They shut their team page down. Right before this, Tim, we were having so much success, our team was growing so fast. I came back from Leaders Retreat at this point, and I said, Tim, if I can do this much by myself, because he was supporting me, but he wasn't necessarily in action with it. And he goes, I said, if I could do this pretty much by myself, imagine what we could do together, which is super naive. Think back, whoa. I did not know what I was asking for, but we figured things out. I mean, it took a couple years really to figure things out, but we're good now. But I was imagine what we can do together. And his job at the time was not things hadn't kind of panned out. So like, it was just an amazing opportunity for us just to go all in. So Tim had just quit his job. We lost the product. My upline closed her team page down. I didn't have a team page. And then I had this lady on my team that I don't even know. She just was adding fraudulent people. And she had added 70 people.
What?
Like from prison, homeless people. Like I'm not
You
joking.
have got to be kidding.
I'm not kidding. This all happened in 1 month. I'm not joking.
Oh my God.
To this day, I think it's the biggest fraudulent thing that Plexus has ever encountered. I honestly think, like,
Who could come up with something?
I know. I still, to this day, her hashtag was the pilot's wife. I still remember that. And so she was basically like she was ranking herself with fake people, okay? So anyways, so in one day, I lost 70 people, like 70 level 2s. Okay, so 70 times 5, that's like a decent chunk of points. And people were just like, the bottom was falling out of my team because we lost this major weight loss product that was like making everybody skinny, and they didn't have to eat, and they didn't have to sleep. Okay, so here we are.
Get your faith kicked in.
And Tim had quit his job.
Wow.
Okay, so we're like going through the actions and stuff, and I'm like, paralyzed in fear. And I just tell Tim, I'm like, you gotta go get your job back. Go ask your boss and get your job back. And I'm like, we can't do this. Like, this isn't gonna work. And he sat me down, and like, I'll never forget, we were like on our little bar in Florida, and he's like, we have already chosen success. We're gonna figure this out. We've already chosen success. And it still gives me chills because I promise you that moment birthed Rock the Pink. It birthed our Monday night YouTube shows. It birthed a plan of attack, and we had our biggest growth out of it. At that time, and here's where I go back to the faith and the inspiration, because at that moment, I remember the fear, and it was just crazy. We chose success, and then God brought me this 65-year-old woman in Florida who was just like this lady that wanted to do a business, and she grew my biggest leg. Strongest leg out of that moment. And it's like, I believe in all those seasons, you have a choice. You can either quit and stay in fear, or you can come up with a plan and run so fast that you don't even know what's happening. I can tell you 100%, there was nobody more fearful at that moment. Like, we have kids, and like, we're making these huge decisions, and Plexus is very hands-free. You can't make somebody order their products every month. Or as much as you want to. I'm gonna, okay. I'm just saying, you cannot make it. Like, make them do it. As much as you try. It's hands-free. It's all about inspiring people. So anyways, choose success. That was a long story for that rule, but that has been an anthem over and over, and still is to this day, because we aren't where we want to be. He's still emerald. I'm not double diamond. So it's like, there's always something to figure out, new goals, new heights. Now we're teaching our kids that with the things that they're doing in life. So this is definitely a major rule for us.
Inspire or shut up. This one, I wish Michelle was telling this one, because basically she just one night, we were sitting there live on Rock the Pink Live, and she just starts preaching, and we're just talking about how you just need to inspire people because there's too much negativity out there. I see you posting your stuff on Facebook. I see you saying all these negative things that happen in your life, and then the next post is, oh, you guys need to try Plexus. It's so amazing. It's changed my life. It's like, get it. Understand, there's a correlation between these posts. There's a reason why people are not following you. They're not responding to you because you're uninspiring. So Michelle just literally said on Rock Pink Live, inspire or shut up.
Love it.
So yeah. I just looked at her like, okay, all right. But that's the truth though, guys. If you are going around as a negative Nelly and you're saying negative things to people, whether it's in person or you're complaining, or you're going and you're on Facebook, or wherever you're at, if that's your normal mode, and then you try to go inspire somebody, you try to tell them, hey, you need to try Plexus, they don't want to have anything to do with it. Because people join Plexus 90% because of you. Okay? 90% of the reason why they join is you. And if you're uninspiring, they don't want to hang out with you. Okay? So that's one of our rules. Inspire or shut up. We've just learned to be more, we've learned that it's better to not say anything than it is to complain or be demotivating to other people. And in the long run, you'll feel way better anyway. All right.
All right, don't be vanilla. Vanilla is boring.
I love vanilla.
Okay, well, you can be French vanilla.
Yeah. With sprinkles on top.
With sprinkles on top. No, this is just so that you'll think about this. The reason why we said this is because one of the things that we did at that moment when we chose success is, what are we going to do to establish ourselves as leaders, to step outside of the norm, to get people's attention? In this world right now, social media is so loud. I mean, it's almost like too loud. You know, like you have to do something different, outside of the box. You have to, I mean, you know what's really outside of the box is actually talking to someone in person. Seriously, it's so weird. People don't even know how to do it anymore. Or complimenting somebody. If you stop and talk to someone when you're out in like public, like kids don't even, like, you better be teaching your kids how to talk to people for real instead of just, I mean, because people, like, they're losing their sense of social skills. But anyways, like, things that we've tried to do, like, you know, creating Rock the Pink Live, branding yourself, like doing things to step outside the box, creating get-togethers. I was talking to, you know, that little team back there. They're actually a big team, but a few of them are here. But I was just talking to them. I mean, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Okay? You know why? You know what culture is? Culture is just the people, the excitement, the energy. Have dinner dates, lunch dates, coffee dates, get together, go bowling together, you know, do something fun. You know, go out to dinner, invite people to your house, have a party, have a swimming party,
Have a Plexus night.
have a Plexus night. Yeah, I mean, you know, we don't love formal meetings. Sometimes it's good to come in here and just and teach or do what we do last night. But in Nashville, we're actually creating pockets around Nashville, and we're setting up events. We're gonna go to Top Golf together, and we're gonna, you know, do events. But don't be boring. I mean, nobody wants boring in their life. Like that's what we're talking about. Just do something different. It gets people's attention, and people want to be a part of that.
Let your freak flag fly.
Oh, gosh. Something like that.
Be consistent. I mean, this one is really one that we've probably said more than anything else. We've said this a million times on Rock the Pink Live. Consistency is the one thing above everything else that will will at least keep you in the game. Okay? It doesn't mean that if you're consistent, sometimes you're not going to have those down times in your business. But it will keep you in the game. If you're consistent and you talk to people, you will eventually find someone. There's a rule. There's numbers to go through, right? Your number might be 1 out of every 20 people you talk to will be willing to try Plexus. Okay? Somebody else's might be 1 out of every 10. Does that mean that you shouldn't do the business? No, but if you're consistent at getting after those 20 people, eventually your one will sign up. So consistency really is the king. All these other things, obviously, we've talked about, are really important. Belief has to go behind all of that. But the bottom line is consistency. Without consistency, there's no way we would be where we're at in our business. It's been tough at times to do Rock the Pink Live on Monday nights. And it's really difficult to quantify what we're getting out of it, to be honest with you. We can't, we probably signed up maybe a handful of ambassadors by doing Rock the Pink Live. We were like, oh, I saw your show on YouTube and I wanted to sign up. Okay, cool. We've signed up 5 out of this 5 years, 1 a year.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to quantify. But at the same time, we've also noticed, like, our branding is outstanding. There are a lot of people who know who we are and follow us and then tell us that later on, hey, I watched this one video of yours, it really inspired me to keep moving forward. And we've seen that play a part in our team. So the thing is, though, that Monday night, every Monday night, we have a choice. Do we really want to do this tonight? You know what I'm saying? Like
we sometimes, like, are arguing right before. We're like, hi, welcome to another Monday night. Right?
literally.
But you're not complaining, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
We're not complaining. We're not complaining. Not complaining. But it's the consistency of doing those things that you just don't feel like doing, that you know you're supposed to do, that you need to do, that will keep you in the game. All right.
All right, number 8, we talked about this a lot, so we don't have to really labor on it, but do it afraid. Everything that you want is on the other side of fear. So, I mean, does that mean that you're ever going to get there if you're not afraid sometimes? Do it.
All right, number 9 is just real simple too. No excuses. Just like we talked about earlier, you know, taking the word busy out of your vocabulary. We are all full of excuses. We all can come up with the greatest reasons why we're not getting things done, or we're not growing our business. We can all look around and we can point at all these things, and you know what? Legit, guys, some of it's kind of real. Some of it might be getting in your way. You might be busy, okay? You have things come up in your life. But the thing is that this is what I've come to realize. Somebody out there that is less talented than me, has fewer friends, has started off in life with less, they currently have less money, they don't have any influence, they're not as good looking as I am. All of that stuff. Somebody out there is going to take a hold of this business, and they're gonna not gonna have my excuses, and they're gonna run and they're gonna crush it, and they're gonna go all the way to the top. So when it comes right down to it, what reasons do I have? What excuses are actually legit? None of them. None of them are really legit. They're all just getting in my way. So our rule is no excuses. Just find a way to get around it. Find a way to, if you have something that comes in your mind and says, well, you're not going to be able to do it because of this, and you know you need to do it, well, then you've got to find the way to get around that and get the thing done.
And excuses and reasons.
Yes. Yeah. People will exchange the word excuse with the word reason because they think it sounds more legitimate. But it's all the same, right?
Well, she's saying take your excuses and make them a reason.
Oh, I missed what you said.
Like turn them into your lie, like people.
Yeah. Oh, like you said last night. That's a good point. You said that. Can you share what you said last night for those who didn't get to hear it?
Absolutely. So I was saying, everybody has excuses. You can say, well, I can't join Plexus because I don't have any extra money. Well, if you don't change something, you're never going to have extra money. I can't work Plexus because I have a kid and I feel guilty because, I need to be focused more on him. If you don't focus on your health, you're not going to be around for that kid. You can't do Plexus because you don't have time. Well, how are you ever going to have time for him if you don't make time to make it happen?
Yeah.
Love it.
One specific excuse that a lot of people do give is, I need to be able to be there for my kids and do all these other things, right? I totally understand that, but I just want to say, like, if you're on the other side, like, there's also the perspective, like, Michelle worked for years in the corporate world, and she had to be gone from the home constantly, even though she might be working her Plexus business and doing things. Maybe she's on her phone. And every once in a while, it's like, oh, do you have to be on your phone? Well, you know what this phone, being on my phone, is doing? It's allowing me to stay at home and be here with you and not have to be gone 50, 60 hours a week. See, sometimes we just need to change our perspective to get rid of those excuses. And I think those are great points. Turn your excuses into reasons.
All right, we're almost done, so you guys know. Were you guys expecting a 10th thing?
Yes.
I know. It's hard.
There aren't 10, there are only
For
9.
some of you guys that have like, you're real anal about things, that's gonna be a tough number to end on. But we only have 9.
I bet you can.
Nope, that's it.
I need to chime in.
I know. I want you to write the 10th one for yourself. How about that?
I like it. There you go.
Hey, the
Good
10th one
idea.
is your own idea. It's your own rule.
Yeah, good rule. Right?
Okay, so the plexus string. So we're gonna actually we're gonna take this down to something super practical. We've talked a lot about mindset. We've talked about our business rules, things that we, do for ourselves or the ways that we think. And Billy and I talked about this today, and so we're gonna actually talk about this together. So here's something that I struggle with, and that was probably, not struggle with, but I struggle helping people understand, and it was probably my biggest strength. So this is like Michelle's biggest key to success, was that I am a very creature of habit. Like I am just like a creature, I like to do the same things every day, and I like my perfect bubble. And so when I first started, I created my daily method of operation. Before we had IPA sheets, before we had any of that stuff, I just created what I was gonna do every day. And it wasn't massive. It was not this huge, I wasn't gonna contact 40, 50 people a day and it wasn't this. It was like, I was literally gonna talk to one person a day, and I was going to post on social media 2 times a week. I mean, it was like pretty small at first. And then it was like, as I overcome more fear, it increased. And then it was like, oh, well, if I do a little bit more activity, I'm getting a little bit more results. And so my method of operation has changed. Now I have a 2-hour daily method of operation. But here's what happens for people. A lot of people stop, they get inspiration, and they go hard. And then they stop. Anybody's a start and stopper? Okay, they get that fresh IPA sheet out, and they're like, I'm doing this every day of my life until I hit the top, right? And then they only get like a quarter in, and they're like, I'm screwed. I didn't even do it one day. And then it's like, so here's what I really think happens for people. I think that they look at the mountain in front of them, because it's a mountain, right, that they want to climb. They look at the mountain in front of them, and they take on this heavy burden. And they think, I have to reach out to 7,000 people today. You know what I mean?
That's an unrealistic goal.
Unrealistic goal. But they take on this burden of like the number, and it's just so huge that it's suffocating. And then they can only really keep up with that for like never, maybe a day or 2. And then they're like, they don't see the results that they want to see in 2 days, because you're not going to reap a harvest in 2 days. Everything that you're going through right now was from 90 days ago. I mean, that's the rule in network marketing, that literally it's like a 90-day cycle. So if you feel like your prospects are dried out a little bit right now, or you don't have a lot in the funnel, you can look back at your life 90 days ago, and you can probably see why that is. Now, if things are really popping for you right now, and maybe you're not planting seeds right this current minute, but you were really busy 90 days ago planting seeds, and you're really reaping a harvest, you'll see that played out. So you can't look. You have to have long-term vision in this. And so I tell, and this is what happens. So people take on this really heavy burden for daily IPA. They take on this huge goals because they have big dreams. So they take on all this stuff, and then they can't keep up on the heavy burden. And so then life happens. Something happens that really does create drama in their life, or somebody gets sick, or they're in a hospital, or whatever. And you just simply can't keep up on all that, because it's a big, heavy plan that you've created for yourself. So here's the thing. If you had an 8 to 5 job, and something happened in your life, you still have to go to work. I mean, you still have to show up. Here's what happens with Plexus, though. People don't show up to Plexus if they go through something, because they're like, oh, this is going on in my life. They still went to work, though, but they didn't do their Plexus. And one of the things that Tim's tried to create for people is that you have to put yourself in a different frame of mind if you want this for the long term. Because as soon as he quit his job, this was our 8 to 5. I mean, we don't really work 8 to 5, but as soon as he quit his job, it was like, we can't just not show up. I mean, this is truly a business. Like this, we have to show up to this. It has given us, I mean, we're full-time stay-at-home parents. We don't have a hard life. We can show up to our Plexus business. But my hardest job is going to meet someone for lunch. That's not hard. You know what I mean? Like that's the hardest part of my job. Or sending a message to somebody that I'm like nervous to send a message to, that they need the products and that could end up changing their life. There's nothing about this that's difficult. So I want you to change your frame of mind. I want you to actually, and we're just gonna, this will be our last activity. We're still going to take like a couple minutes. And mostly, I just want you to think, like, I want you to dumb this business down. I mean, dumb it down. Dumb it down to a point where it's like, I want you to commit to something that no matter what's going on in your life, you can do. Like, I can handle this. And then if you have one day where you're actually home all day and you want to do something incredible and reach out to an extra 40 people or do something awesome, then that's just because you were home all day. That's not because, like, that's your 8 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you guys to change your mind that I want you to create a daily activity plan for yourself and not just look at, a lot of you are just getting all these different IPA sheets and you're taking on these burdens that aren't even who you are. Create it out of your own creativity. And so we don't even have to do that tonight because we're kind of running out of time. But I want you guys to come up with your own plan. And this might look like this, okay? I'm gonna, like, you have like 4 pillars to this business. You have your own personal reach outs, new people. You have follow-up for your existing people, like your existing customer base. You have leadership stuff because you need to lead the people that join your team. You need to inspire them. You have leadership. And then you have meetings. And here's the thing about meetings, whether it's online, in person, meetings make money. Remember that. I don't care if it's as old school as Amway. Okay? It's this, I don't care if you do everything on social media. Do not forget this is a belly-to-belly business no matter what. And the only way you're going to be amazing at what you do if you figure out how to get belly-to-belly. Even if it's just, that means if you're on the phone, that means you meet for lunch, for coffee. Always be planning your next event. So you have, so if you're creating your plan, I want you to think, and you know what? I want you to cut back a little bit on the personal growth and the training videos. Cut back just a little bit, okay? Stop listening to a bunch of videos because you know what that's doing? Taking you out of action. You know when you learn the most? When you just do it? Like, I probably have read a half of a book since I've been in Plexus. I'm just joking. I have read one whole book. I've listened to a lot of YouTube. I have my times of personal growth, and like I'll usually do it while I'm driving or while I'm like getting ready, things like that. But you know when you really learn is when you fall on your face, or when you do something, and when you take action. And so I want you guys to create your method of operation, and I want you to create it like if you're going to talk about your new people reaching out, I want you to set a goal like, I'm going to reach out to 2 people a day, uber consistently. I don't want you to set a goal of I'm going to reach out to 30 to 40 and you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Let's just be real. You know what I mean? I want you to reach out. I want you to make that goal almost where it's like too easy because you have to build some momentum in your life. And when you set a goal like that that's attainable, you feel proud. And you're like, I did my goal today. I got my 2 people. And then, you know, you could do more. But you did 2. Huh?
It's motivating.
It's motivating when you get some. Who loves checking off a box?
Me.
Man, I love it. I love a good to-do list. You know what I mean? That you check off boxes. I love that. But like, if it's too much, what happens? If it's too much on your to-do list, you go watch Netflix.
Stop.
You go watch Netflix. That's what you do. If it's too much, I'm like, Tim, let's go to happy hour. Like, there's nothing I want to do because we've got too much on my to-do list. That's how it is with your IPA. I want you guys to, don't tell corporate this. I'm just saying, throw away all the sheets for a minute. Okay? Take it back to, like I said, You are the CEO of your own business. You are the only person running your life. And if you're going to take all those rules in, then you need to rise up as an individual and as a leader, create your plan and own it. And don't let yourself don't talk yourself out of there. And stop listening to so many videos and get into some massive action. And other than if someone tells you to watch a video, then do it, whatever. Listen to them. But I just feel like that's a big key to success. Set a goal to where it's almost like that's not enough, but you can be proud at the end of the day because you did it. And I can look back over my whole first year, second year, third year, and my goal every day was to talk to 2 to 3 people. And when people start coming up with these plans, I want to talk to 20 people a day, 30 people a day, I'm just like, I can't do that because for one, it's just like it's burnout. Like I don't have that many people floating around in my life. You know what I mean? Like I have to find the 3 people every day that I find. And I know when you start getting into just massive quantity, you forget about the individual. And you know what I also know? That it only takes one person to absolutely transform your business. You have to slow down this business. I'm talking like, we really got to get out of this mode of just being so flying through numbers, flying through prospects, flying through bringing all these people into our team, and all of a sudden we don't even know where they went because they're leaving as fast as they came in because we don't even know how to do this business. You know how you do this business? Is you grab a hold of that person and you build them up because they're so beaten down in life that they don't have any personal belief, and you help them believe for something bigger. You can't do that when all you're doing is trying to get that next just short-term incentive. Okay, this is long-term vision stuff. If you're just about getting an iPad and some new Nikes, let me tell you, do something where you're going to be able to buy an iPad and a Nikes every month. You know what I mean? You can buy that for yourself if you understand how to love on people. And I'm just I'm on a mission to break down the mentality issue with this thing where we're just flying through people and we're forgetting that it's all about the person. And if we can understand that, we can really change lives. We can be the ripple effect. And it is just, like I said, all those hard seasons in my life, God brought the one person. One person. Katie Smith came into my life when we thought we were moving to Salina, we didn't know what was happening. And this whole team, all came out of that moment, where we decided to keep going, and it was really, really tough. During that time, one person created the ripple effect that changed everything. And so I want you guys to slow down in your day, be prayerful, ask God to bring that person. Talk to those 3 people like you care and you're not just sending a copy and paste message. I'm talking, speak into their life, hug somebody, go out. Tim's always telling me, slow down, we gotta go to lunch so we can meet a new waitress. And I'm always trying to get my to-do list.
What are we selling here?
That sounded really good.
That's the new
I gave him a Hollywood Wolverine today. And the ad for it said, get all the girls.
That's right. Hey, well, he's a man, but he does understand this business is mostly
Hey,
female,
waiters are good for this type of clientele also.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Well, waiters and waitresses, he actually does talk to a lot of men. That just sounded really good.
It was good humor.
We gotta go meet the girls. Anyways,
That was really good, y'all. That last part right there, I'm just gonna say that was excellent. Okay, we're gonna close it up here. And we don't close a Rock the Dream training without talking about this one last thing here. Called the greatest dream. Really, our entire message and everything that we teach you guys, and everything we've been talking about, comes out of this first. It's what we built everything on. It's why we believe what we believe. There was one dream that started this all. It wasn't my dream. It's not your dream. It was God's dream. And his dream was that we would be with him forever. We'd be his family. He wanted to have people that he could share everything with. There was one problem. We went and messed that up right in the very beginning. And yet the thing was like, he knew what was going on anyway. So instead of making us pay for all of that, instead of making us say, well, scrapping the whole entire dream, he said, you know what? I've got a plan. I'm going to send my one and only son, my only begotten son, his name is Jesus, and I'm going to send him into the world. He's going to become just like them. He's going to look just like them. And Jesus said, I'm going to do it. And he came and gave up his life so that we could then be with the Father forever. And there's literally nothing that any one of us has done or ever can do or will do to earn that. That's the one dream that all of us can live, and none of us have to pay for it. It was already paid for by Jesus. He was resurrected from the dead, and one of these days he's coming back. And I share that with you all because I want you to know that the hope that we talk about, it's founded in something real and deep. It goes beyond me just saying the word faith or the word belief. It goes right down into my very soul to what I am and who I am. And when I tell you who you are, I'm telling you where it's coming from is God. And anybody who wants that, that's free. And we're here to help you. If you want to make that journey, you want to make that decision, we would be glad to talk with you, to pray with you afterwards. We're always available for that. But we don't share all this stuff from an empty place. It's from a real place. And we want you to know that even if you don't get anything else out of anything we've said, right there, that'll change your life. That's the biggest change that can happen. That's it, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh wait, we have 3 more giveaways, 4 more giveaways.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, Brandon, 1 through 34.
13.
Tammy Hopkins, cook.
Yay.
Okay. Someone else.
My cousin.
Another number. What other number we want?
22.